I started my business in a so-called recession, okay? And I'll be perfectly honest with you, call me thick or call me whatever you want, I didn't know what a recession was and I didn't care less, because I'd made my mind up that one Monday morning I was going to start working for myself.
Some people are frightened of entering into business on their own because they're concerned about how am I going to pay tax, how do I deal with PAYE, how do I get a VAT number. Trust me, these are easy things. HMRC are very, very helpful. You can go into your local office, they will tell you exactly what you need to do.
There's a wave of so-called enterprising entrepreneurs out there that feel that they can come in to business at this kind of level. You know, they feel that Richard Branson, you know, he just woke up one morning and started an airline. You know, he didn't. You know, he was like me. He worked out of a little shop somewhere and he built his empire up and he learnt all that he learnt through things going wrong and things going right.
You need to set aside a day per week where you divorce yourself from the day-to-day activity of your company. You must have someone inside the company who you trust. God forbid you ever got run over by a number 6 bus. Think of that person who would have to take control, and put that person in control for that day or for those 2 days, and then use those 2 days to go out into the marketplace to find yourself some new business, or at least observe what your competitors are getting up to and what they're doing in order to see how the market is changing. Because if you engross yourself too much in the day-to-day running of the business, you might find that the world is passing you by and you're missing opportunities.
You know, some people say, oh, it's not my style of business, I don't do business this way, I don't do business that way. Well, look, it's true, not everybody does business my way, and I'm not the greatest businessman in the world. I've got my way, other people have got their ways. It's as simple as that. Do I think that the CEO of Tesco's learns anything from it? No. Obviously not. In fact, people like that tend to say, oh, what a load of rubbish, you know, I wouldn't do this and I wouldn't. Of course they bloody wouldn't. That's why they're the CEOs of Tesco's. It does bother me a lot in the use of this word entrepreneur, and that is when people use it as referring to themselves. It is a word, I believe, that was designed for someone else to use it in observance of someone else's achievements. And it's one that gets used too freely, in my opinion, and yeah, I would just say that you know, aspiring to be an entrepreneur or be a business person is better terminology as far as I'm concerned.
A successful business person needs to exploit the market of the sector that they are in. They need to have a great understanding of it. They need to constantly monitor the marketplace and spot opportunities. That's what successful business is all about, spotting new opportunities and exploiting them. Most success stories in expansion of businesses are based upon enhancements learnt from the core business that you're already in, adding additional features to products, expanding product ranges, ideas that come from what you're already doing. Particularly in manufacturing, your own employees can actually come up with some spark of genius in streamlining the production process, something that you may have never thought about before, something that could save you lots and lots of money, or suddenly come up with an idea based upon the product that you're producing that is allied to it.
And it was tough out there, and it's as simple as that. And the reason I started my own business was because I attained some qualification in the business that I was in. I didn't leap out of bed one Monday morning saying, I want to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to start a business. Yeah. I had to attain some expertise in some subject, and it was actually in wholesaling electrical goods. And what prompted me was that after spending 2 or 3 years working for someone else and not being patted on the back, I said, well, I can do what I'm doing for him myself, okay? But I didn't invent that one Monday morning, because on the Monday afternoon when I had to go out and start selling the stuff, I had to know what I was doing. I didn't just get a pin and stick it in the FT and say, I'm going to go into that sector. And this is the biggest problem that I come up against with young people. the biggest problem is getting them to understand that you don't just fancy being in business. There has to be some idea, something that you are expert in, something that you've attained some expertise in before you can even consider it. It sounds very, nice and cool. I'm starting my own business, but it's not cool. Believe me, it's tough, very, very tough. And and that's why this question is always very difficult to answer, because if the person would have said to me, I've spent 3 years working in some chemical company and I've seen the way they do it, and quite frankly, I feel now going off and doing it myself, do you think the time is right now? I could answer him. I'd ask who the customers would be, the potential customers, what the market is doing in chemicals. But I can't just answer a blanket question like that until I know specifically what industry you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, that was property, so...
Well, the property market at the moment, I mean, my answer to him is, have you got any money? Because if you've got...
You're going to need it.
If you've got any money, then yes.